In the opening scene of the movie, celebrity chef, Dean, makes several delicacies and is assisted by his prep cook, Anna Wells, on his cooking show. After the filming, Anna proudly watches the show on her laptop and takes a picture of her name when the credits play. She is always proud of seeing her name being displayed despite being in the show for almost 2 seasons. Even when Hope, the show producer, tells her she deserves it, Anna chooses to be modest about her achievement. Since their next show is in Portugal, Anna shows some Portuguese recipe suggestions to Hope, but she advises her not to interfere with Dean's preferences so he won't fire her, like the last assistant. Russ, their cute Aussie cameraman, cuts into their conversation, reminding them they should be heading to the airport soon. Hope nervously informs them that Dean will most likely meet them in Portugal. This is shocking news to Anna and Russ because they are supposed to travel together. It turns out that Dean's contract negotiations are taking longer than planned. The show is on the 7th season, but being a celebrity chef, he wants to get paid more. Hope assures them that they will get to Portugal regardless. Anna is tasked with getting everything prepped with Lucas, the farmer's market owner. Lucas is quite a busy guy and Anna finds it difficult to speak to him. Meanwhile, Anna's mom pays her a visit at work. This is the tradition for every time Anna is about to leave for work in another location. Then, with a sly smile, her mom asks about Russ. She thinks Anna and Russ might make a great couple. But Anna dismisses that notion. She prefers to be just friends with him. Her dad sends his regards because he can't come due to work. Her mom advises Anna to have the best time there, even though her boss can be somewhat overbearing. Anna quickly tells her mom to keep it down so as not to get her fired. Finally, they get to Portugal and are fascinated with the villa they are staying at. Of course, this is all thanks to Dean. Hope is worried about something but chooses not to tell Anna and Russ. Anna starts prepping for the show and she meets Lucas at the store. He is a bit disappointed that only Anna came. He had been expecting the film crew to give his farmer's market some publicity. Unfortunately, they only film in the kitchen and only Dean can make an exception. He gives Anna a tour of the market and she is fascinated by it. And of course, just as her mother advises her, she has lots of fun while there. Lucas even takes her pictures. Still, Lucas is disappointed Dean is not there and only sent his prep cook. When Anna gets back from the market, she realizes that Dean will not be back for a couple of days. That means Anna will take over till Dean gets back. She is shocked about being put in the spotlight suddenly and it's making her nervous. However, if she refuses, that means the show will be cancelled, and none of them will be paid. So the decision lies on her shoulder. Later on, Anna expresses her fear about covering for Dean. However, Russ thinks it shouldn't be too hard, since she does most of the work anyway. However, Anna feels like people want to watch Dean on TV and not her, because of his personality. Russ reminds her that she has a great personality too, and this won't be the first time she will put herself out there. Anna gets embarrassed, thinking that he is referring to the situation they had a while back, when she tried to kiss him at a party. Looking back, she only did that because she thought he was flirting with her. Turns out it was just Russ being Australian. Russ makes her realize that he turned her down then because he cherished their friendship, and he wants them to always remain best friends. However, Russ is not referring to that incident. He is referring to the day the former prep chef Millie got fired, and she took over. Ever since then, she carried out her job perfectly. This is why Russ believes she will do just fine. Still, Anna is scared of what Dean will feel about a prep cook taking over his show. Russ assures her that nothing will happen, and besides, she has no choice because this is a direct request from the network. Hope arrives and informs them that Dean just confirms that he will be there soon. So, the next day, Anna has to fill in for the time being. In the next scene, Anna wakes up early and prepares for the show. Hope lets her know she will interview some guests, so she advises her on how to handle it like Dean. Cameras rolling, the show begins. Unfortunately, the show does not go as expected. Anna is nervous and doesn't converse much with the guest. When the guest wants to shift the conversation back to Dean, Hope signals to Anna not to allow it, so the rest of the show gets more awkward. During commercial break, the guest requests to be informed when Dean arrives. It seems he does not like working with Anna. Even though the show is not going as planned, Hope commends Anna's effort. Anna knows she did not do well, so Russ advises her to take things easy since this is her first show. Anna calls her mom to let her know of her troubles. Her mom advises her not to put so much pressure on herself, stating that she can always count on her and her dad. Anna also tries to call Dean but she is unable to. His voicemail is full. When she goes outside, she sees that some of the crew members are leaving. The lined-up guests for the show only want to be interviewed by Dean. So, for the time being, they will only work with the few crew members, and they have to change the plan. Now, instead of filming in the kitchen, they will film all around Portugal until Dean arrives. Anna feels overwhelmed by everything. She feels like a failure and burden. Instead of going out that night with the rest of the crew, she chose to study Dean's past videos, to see if those will help her. She can't understand how all this is so easy for Dean. Then, she gets a text from Lucas. He sends her all the pictures he took during her visit to the market. This makes her smile and feel inspired. In the next scene, Hope seems to be losing hope. The network is not confident in Anna's abilities and they may soon pull the trigger on the show. Enthusiastically, Anna walks in and tells them about her idea. She realizes that she is not Dean, and she can't pretend she is him. So, for her to be herself, she needs to get out of the kitchen. They start the next filming session at Luca's farmer's market. Here Anna is entirely in her element. She isn't nervous while showing every aspect of the market. This amazes Hope, Brooklyn, and Lucas. During the show, Lucas appears to admire Anna, especially the way he looks and talks to her. However, Russ does not like this. So, when he sees Lucas staring at Anna, he stops filming, telling them that he has captured enough of the scene. To make matters uncomfortable for Russ, Hope tells them that they look natural and have good chemistry. She is happy the plan is working perfectly, so she wants to see more. Lucas acts sweetly towards Anna, even offering to help her with anything that she may need, at any time. He offers to take her to the place where she will get some fresh fish, the riverside. Russ notices how he dotes on Anna and tells her how he thinks Lucas is trying to impress her. Anna simply disregards it. She is curious to know how long it will take before Dean is back. Russ reassures her that for the time being, she remains in charge. Then, she feels more enthusiastic when she sees a man grilling in a boat. She asks Lucas if it's possible to get a boat with a kitchen for use the next day. They are surprised at her suggestions, especially since she didn't discuss this with Hope. Lucas promises to get her a boat by all means necessary, since it is for her. Meanwhile, Russ notices the way he looks at her affectionately. On their way to the villa, Anna asks Russ his thoughts on the day's filming, especially since it was shot out of the kitchen, and she is nervous that the network may not approve of the location change. Russ assures her that she did great, and the network will approve it since it buys them time with Dean's absence. When Anna mentions Luke is getting her the boat, Russ seems a bit jealous. Anna sees a place where people are dancing and she suggests they dance. Surprised by Russ' dancing skills, she finds out about his love for dancing. He reveals that he almost created a YouTube channel for Latin dancing before getting his current job. However, he decided to stick with the job because of the pay. He also tells her he is grateful he did, otherwise, he wouldn't have met her. Things get intense between them, until suddenly, Anna's phone rings, and it happens to be Lucas. Russ feels jealous again, so he walks away. The next day, the filming takes place on a boat setting sail into the sea. During the filming, Anna is not feeling too well because it's her first time on a boat, and she is getting motion sickness. Fortunately, after downing some ginger ale, she gets better and everything gets back on track. After the shoot, Russ commends her for handling the show like a boss and doing things her way, not sticking to the routine. She commends his effort as well. While they talk, Lucas shows up to ask how the show went. He invites her to dinner to talk about other locations and celebrate her success, although Anna feels like it's a little too early to celebrate. Hope hears this and thinks it is a good plan, especially since it will allow them to have some backup locations lined up for the show. Anna notices that Russ does not seem comfortable with the plan, so she is hesitant about accepting the deal, but Russ urges her to go. Hope also encourages her to go with Lucas. While they are leaving, Hope secretly tells Russ that there seems to be some spark of love between Lucas and Anna. At the restaurant, they drink wine and talk. Lucas is surprised that Anna hasn't traveled much, but can still speak little Portuguese. She tells him that her dad is Brazilian, although she was not formally taught the language. He finds out where she learned to cook, which gave her the opportunity to be Dean's prep cook after he fired the previous. We find out she could not go to culinary school because her mom got sick, and she had to care for her until she got better. Although she tried getting a job at some high-end restaurant, it didn't work out. She tells him about her fears, so he assures her that it's because she is on the edge of something great. Later that night, Hope receives the sad news that Dean had walked away from negotiations. This means he won't be working on the show anymore. Unfortunately, the network did not want to continue the show until they had a new chef. They believe the show will not be successful without Dean on it, or another celebrity chef. So, they only allow the crew to film the next 3 scheduled episodes until they get a new chef. Russ hears everything and is not pleased with the prospect of another chef, but Hope reminds him that at least they have their jobs intact. The network likes the new style, but they believe sliding in another chef will make it perform much better. When Anna gets back to the villa, she meets Russ sitting alone outside waiting for her and notices that he looks sad. He informs her of Dean leaving, and she feels dejected as well. He asks her if she would like to be the new chef, since they are yet to hire a new one. However, Anna reminds him that she is not a celebrity, so they won't choose her for the position. He thinks otherwise, since they have given her more airtime for the time being. He believes they want to see how well she performs. Anna acknowledges that she has been performing under pressure since she is new to hosting. Russ advises her to show the network her worth by stepping up her game and being in her unique element. He promises to work alongside her with the same energy, with her being the chef. Later, Anna spends the night studying. She gets a message informing her of the new link to the county's hiring database, but she ignores it. She goes over some recipes, selecting the one she wants to work on. She then emails her personal show ideas to Hope. The next day, Lucas takes them to another location for filming. He admires Anna's enthusiasm, and at the same time, Russ is proud of her spirit. During the filming, they taste different Portuguese meals. At this point, Anna is no longer nervous about being in front of the camera. Then, Lucas notices the way Russ looks at her and senses he likes her. After filming, they celebrate. Lucas uses that opportunity to commend her, mentioning how her storytelling style is beautiful as she is. Russ scoffs while Anna blushes at Lucas, who stares at her lovingly. Hope notices that Russ does not seem to like Lucas. She expresses her doubts about their next episode, which is about a side dish. However, Anna assures her that it will turn out to be great. After Hope left, Lucas suggests that she goes with him for more sightseeing around town, and to see some investors for his restaurant. Since it's her day off tomorrow, she accepts his invitation. Lucas is ecstatic and mentions that it's also his day off. He plans to take her to lunch and gives her a peck before leaving. Russ is not pleased with the way Lucas shows affection for Anna, and she notices. He then asks her to walk with him. On their walk, he tells her how walking and wandering is one of his favorite pastime activities. She realizes that this is why he is drawn to documentaries. We find out that Russ got an offer to film one some time ago, but his mates back home thought they are of no use because he already has a good job. So he stopped thinking about the offer. However, Anna believes he should pursue his heart's desire and ignore his mate's advice. As she stares at him, Russ feels drawn to her. However, they get interrupted by a roadside vendor. The next day, Russ watches as Lucas comes to pick up Anna for lunch. Once again, this makes him feel quite jealous. When they get to the location, Anna realizes that Lucas put some effort into setting up a solo lunch for them. He reveals that this place is where he intends to have his restaurant. She appreciates his thoughtfulness. However, she soon finds out that Lucas has other plans for their date. A man named Hugo meets them at the location. After the introduction, Hugo tells her he has heard a lot about her, especially since she is Dean's prep cook. Lucas' plan all along is to have Dean feature his restaurant in the show, sometime in the future. This happens to be the reason he has been going all out to help Anna with the show. Anna feels disappointed that she has been used as a pawn in the game Lucas is playing. Disappointed, Anna informs them that Dean is no longer on the show. Lucas is confused because she told him before that she is only filling in until Dean gets to Portugal. Since Dean won't be on the show again, he asks if she can get the filming crew to come to his restaurant once it is open. Livid, Anna lets him know that he should not consider the show as his golden ticket. She walks away, letting him know that she has a day off to enjoy. In the next scene, Anna vents her frustration by chopping some food intensely. Brooklyn walks in and guesses correctly that Lucas is the cause of her frustration. Anna admits that she's annoyed because she found out he had been using her. She also mentions the time when Russ rejected her, which is another reason she is upset. Turns out, she has feelings for Russ. Brooklyn had witnessed what happened between them and she suggests that Russ's rejection may mean something else. But to Anna, it means she should stop looking at Russ as more than a friend, no matter what she feels about him. She still feels embarrassed about the whole situation. Brooklyn assures her that certain things in her life are real, such as the food, the viewers, and their friendship. So, she suggests not letting Lucas's behavior put her off. Eventually, Anna feels relieved by Brooklyn's soothing words. Russ walks in, and shortly after, they go out for some sightseeing around town. He asks about her lunch date with Lucas. She tells him it was not a date, and that she is not giving him any more of her time. Russ feels relieved to hear this, believing she deserves better. Anna agrees, but she feels like it's not yet time for that. For the time being, she wants to focus on the show and bringing her a game, so the network can see what she has to offer. Next, they talk about the crucial shoot that will determine whether the show continues or not. Regardless, Anna is determined to make the most of it and have fun. After some intense stares, they said their goodnight. The next morning, Anna wakes up feeling enthusiastic about the day. She is determined to make the most of it and give it her all. Hope is impressed with the newfound location and commends Anna for finding it. However, it turns out Brooklyn found the location, after Lucas refuses to pick up her calls. Since he wasn't getting his way, he turned down further assistance. Hope advised them to bring their best because they have 2 days left to prove to the new chef that they are worth keeping. Russ chimes in, stating that they will prove who the real chef is. He is that confident in Anna's skills. Seeing Anna nervous, he holds her hand and assures her that they've got this. A car arrives and they have no idea who the person could be. It turns out to be Dean. He is back and none of them had expected it. Dean brags about knowing the network would eventually cave into his request. He adds that he is quite confident that they can't replace him. Hope is surprised that no one informs her of the latest development. But Dean lets her know it was his idea because he loves a grand entrance. Turns out, he has been in Portugal the whole time. Anna talks about canceling the plan for the olive mill and this surprises Dean. They have always done everything in the kitchen, so he's curious why they are cooking outside. Russ and Hope tell him of the change in plan, elaborating how they have now gotten out of the kitchen for a more relaxed environment. Dean realizes that the idea to change things up came from Anna. Seeing how he is not pleased with the change, Hope explains that they have to adjust, since the network wants them to keep on schedule. The crew seems to also have had enough of his overbearing attitude. They are not pleased to see him back after being away for so long. They also dislike how he does not appreciate the effort they have put in so far. When they explain what they have done so far, he asks to know if it was all Anna's idea. She happily informs him that everyone contributed to the plan, in one way or the other. After hearing that, he informs them that Anna is fired. This shocks everyone, especially since they have 2 more days of shooting. Anna walks away furious. Still, Dean does not feel any remorse. He did that to remind them that he is the chef, and things will be done his way or no way at all. Anna sits by the pool and Russ joins her. She remembers how Dean fired his previous prep cook, Millie, mid-episode, and how devastating it must have been for her. However, Russ informs her it was not that bad because Millie opened a restaurant in her hometown afterwards, and she is happy. This news gives Anna a glimmer of hope because not only does she love cooking, but she also cares for the people around her. Russ still believes she should be the one hosting the show. He points out that there are more opportunities for her out there, so she shouldn't let Dean's decision bring her down. He showers her with compliments until she gets emotional. Then he talks about messing up, and she mistakes his apology to be work-related. He clarifies that he is not talking about work, but before he can explain, a guy informs them that their flight back home has been booked. In the next scene, Hope talks with Dean. She sees no reason why he would behave poorly in front of everyone. However, Dean believes Anna was stepping out of line. Hope considers it as saving his show instead. She is not pleased with him holding the show hostage, and refuses to have dinner with him. Before leaving, she tells him to watch the footage to see how good Anna is for the show. Meanwhile, Anna calls her mom to tell her what happened. Her mom feels sad about it and advises her to call her former restaurant, to ask them if she can work there again. However, Anna doesn't plan to do that. The next day, Hope and Brooklyn go over the day's schedule with Dean. After Anna packs to leave, she goes outside to get a last look at the beautiful Portugal landscape. Brooklyn and Russ shows up behind her, and they take a picture when she looks back. They then inform her that it is for her poster. They tell her that her TV cooking career is not going to end just because Dean fired her. Anna is surprised. They inform her that the people want to watch her, and the crew wants to work with her. Apparently, Russ talked with Hope and she thinks they have enough footage for her pilot episode. Anne can't believe what she's hearing. The network is already impressed by her work so far. All they need is just to give it an ending. They even offer to help her. She also finds out that Hope is distracting Dean, so he is not aware of their plan. Meanwhile, Dean prepares for his show in the typical Dean way. Hope paces around, and he urges her to say what's on her mind. Meanwhile, Anne sets up in her location with Brooklyn as her prep chef, and Russ behind the camera. Once all is set, they begin the shoot. Back at Dean's area, Hope tells him about having a production delay, since they no longer have a prep chef. Dean soon realizes that Hope is no longer thrilled with the way things have played out. He watches the footage and realizes that Anna is indeed good. He finally remembers why he hired her. Hope tells him that there is something he can do to fix the situation. Anna has finished cooking and they've set up outside. She urges Brooklyn to sit with her, stating how the best tables are crowded ones. Impressed by those words, Brooklyn tells her that it is a perfect fit for her tagline. Hope joins them. She tells them that Dean has called the network to vouch for her new show. She points out that regardless of how overbearing Dean may be, he has an appreciation for natural talent. They are all happy with the news, and everyone joins in to eat while Russ films. Suddenly, Dean arrives and joins them. Russ shares a look with Anna, reminding her that he told her all will be well. Dean eats and gives his approval, enjoying the meal. He initiates a toast for Anna and acknowledges her as the chef. Later, Russ asks Anna to come with him. They sit somewhere in a garden. Then, he tells her he messed up the night when she made a move on him. He sees her differently now and wants another chance. They then seal their love with a beautiful kiss.